Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
At least 9 people are hospitalized after bullets started flying outside of an Ohio bar. And this morning, the suspect is still on the run. The latest coming up.
And back here at home, taking a live look out at the Alamo City, 78 degrees to start your Sunday morning. How hot will it get today? What will the rest of the week look like? We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. But for now, good morning. It is 6 o'clock this Sunday, so I got to ask, after work yesterday, did you make your way outside?
Not really.
Yeah?
No.
Stayed in, avoided the heat?
I was hoping for like a random, shower, and I could take a rain shower.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, we needed that clarification.
I do shower.
Okay, good. All right. Changing the subject. Now, we are going to have another opportunity for isolated downpours today. So like yesterday, some people got some rain and some missed out. This is a look at yesterday's isolated downpours. You can see across San Antonio, there were some who were lucky and some that missed out. Yesterday, we got a whopping 5/100ths of an inch of rainfall. That brings our grand total for rain since July 1st to 6/100ths of an inch of rainfall, which is more than 2 inches of rain in a deficit. And unfortunately, we are very, very dry. Since January 1st, we've just had a little bit more than 5 inches of rain. That is more than a foot below what we should have in the rainfall department by now. Much like yesterday, today is going to bring us an opportunity for isolated showers and storms. Will not help us out in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the drought, but it may be a wow factor for you if you get lucky this afternoon and get that 20% chance for an isolated shower. It'll be at 83 at 10, 88 at noon, 98 for the high temperature, south-southeast winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. I'll have a look at the future cast for those isolated showers and which areas have the best chance for rain coming up next. Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. New this morning, a north side standoff between a murder suspect and police. It is finally over after 3 days. So all of this happening at the Agora Stone Oak Apartments.
Since late Wednesday night, police attempted to get the suspect to come out. He finally did and gave up around 3:09 this morning. A name police have been calling out of the scene is Sonny Rojas.
So a man by that name actually has a murder warrant out in DeWitt County, that's southeast of San Antonio. San Antonio police still investigating. They have not yet confirmed the name of this suspect.
It's officially less than a month until Uvalde children are set to head back to school.
Still anxiety and fear across that community after how last school year ended. So to help the community cope with all these emotions, a children and adolescent grief center out of the Houston area, they put on an event in the Uvalde library. So there was play therapy for kids, free school supplies, and a chance for kids to meet superheroes. All of it meant to bring moments of joy and to help this community as they move towards a new school year.
Having this kind of a fun activity, but still supporting emotional distress, the sadness, and the heartache and pain that they've experienced will be a good way to kind of be that catalyst to get ready to go back to school.
And just as a reminder, there are counseling services available at the Uvalde Together Resiliency Center located at the County Fairplex. They're open Tuesday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And parents everywhere likely have a lot of questions about the upcoming school year. That is why tomorrow, the superintendent of SAISD, they're going to be joining us live for a live Q&A. This is happening on the news at noon. He's going to be talking about the dress code, school lunches, among a variety of other topics. So make sure to tune in tomorrow, news at noon. Well, topping your morning headlines, at least 9 people hurt after a shooting in Cincinnati.
It happened outside of a bar. Police say at least one person fired multiple shots in a large crowd. Police say right now no one is in critical condition and no one was killed. At last check, officers still have not made any arrests. The total number of injuries still unknown, but multiple victims are being treated at that Cincinnati University Hospital. So this is a story we will be following closely. We're going to have a lot of updates throughout the morning on air and online. An election year economic bill is now making its way through the Senate. So it is set to address President Joe Biden's priorities on the climate, energy, health, and taxes. ABC's Christine Sloan has the latest.
The Senate working around the clock this weekend on what's being called the Inflation Reduction Act. The bill makes the single biggest investment in clean energy in the nation's history, allows Medicare to negotiate some prescription drug prices, sets a $2,000 annual cap on out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors, and locks in a minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. Support for the bill is split along party lines, with Democrats in support and Republicans in opposition.
It is absolutely imperative that we show the American people that we are capable of representing the needs of ordinary people.
We're about to pile misery on top of misery. We're about to increase gas taxes at a time you can't afford it.
The Senate voted to begin debate Saturday evening after Vice President Kamala Harris cast a tie-breaking vote in favor.
The Vice President votes in the affirmative and the motion to proceed is agreed to.
After 4 hours of debate, the Senate began a process known as vote-a-rama, voting on dozens of proposed amendments to the bill before a final vote.
Please support this amendment.
I would urge my colleagues to vote no on the amendment.
Using a special budget process, Democrats need just 51 votes or a simple majority for it to pass. No Republicans have said they'll support it. With midterms just 3 months away, Democrats are hoping to get this to President Biden's desk quickly, but the measure would also have to pass the House. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
So during the Senate's vote-a-rama, a Republican amendment to the bill that would have funded a measure meant to restrict immigration, well, it failed. That amendment, if passed, would have put $1 million towards maintaining Title 42 authority. Now remember, that is the Trump-era public policy that allows officials to quickly deport migrants at the border, including those seeking asylum. Title 42 was implemented in the early days of the pandemic to address the public health crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border.
As Americans navigate a 4-decade high inflation, they're piling up debt at a greater rate than economists were predicting. So $40.1 billion of debt was reported in June, a spike from May's revised number of $23.8 billion. The Federal Reserve says borrowing grew by more than 10% compared to 6.3% in May. Revolving debt, most notably marked by credit card balances, jumped by 16% in June. Non-revolving debt, such as car and student loans, is up by nearly 9%. Across the board, non-housing related debt saw its largest increase in 6 years, $103 billion in the second quarter.
Time now 6:07, 78 degrees out.
Research shows that 40% of Alzheimer's and related dementia cases could be delayed or even prevented. How you can reduce your risk still ahead.
And while we're dealing with record-breaking heat over the last few months and dry weather, folks in other communities, they are waking up to water after heavy rain, a lot of flooding. We're going to have the latest after the break.
78 degrees at 6:07. Will we hit triple digits today? Sarah Spivey will let us know when we come back.
Welcome back. Take a look at this. Flood water starting to recede at Death Valley National Park, but still, there are a lot of cars stuck in the mud. All of this after heavy rain hit the park on Friday.
So 500 visitors and 500 staff at the park at the time of the flooding. The conditions forced the park to close. Dozens of cars were buried under debris outside the inn at Death Valley.
Here's the good news, though. No injuries have been reported. And Sarah, did we see enough rain yesterday? Really, any?
No, we didn't. But I want to talk for a second about this rainfall here at Death Valley. So all of that flooding is from only 1.5 inches of rain.
Wow.
They don't usually get a lot of rain.
Exactly,
Okay.
Sarah. They don't usually get all that much rain. In fact, that might, I got to check my numbers on this, but that might be more rain than they usually see for most of the year in one day. So that's why they were experiencing that kind of flooding there. Definitely scary stuff, but we did not get enough rain yesterday. Just a few isolated spits and drizzles out there yesterday. As we look at the day today too, it's going to be pretty similar to yesterday. Outside right now it's 78 degrees. It feels like 81. We've got very high humidity. More on the humidity and how that's going to impact feel-like temperatures this afternoon in just a bit. But for now, if you're waking up in Kerrville, good morning. It's 74 degrees, 78 in Hondo, 77 in New Braunfels, 75 in Uvalde. It's 80 in Del Rio, 79 in Cotulla, 77 in Pleasanton, and 76 in Gonzales. Here's where we have the best chance for rain today. Not a great chance, but the best chance for rain today. 20% chance for isolated showers and storms, generally along and east of 35. But as far to the west as Uvalde, we could see a couple of isolated showers and out toward Kerrville as well. Here's a look at that high-res futurecast, and you can see what I'm saying. The coastal plains have the best chance for rain in the afternoon. Once we get that daytime heating after about 3 p.m., that's when we'll have a few isolated downpours. Again, very few of us are going to get rain, but those of us that do will be able to go get a lotto ticket or something like that. This afternoon, right around 5, this is a snapshot of what the radar could look like. Again, many of us are going to miss out on the rain, but once we see the sunset at about 8:30, we're going to see our rain chances go down for the evening. Now, as I mentioned, it is very humid outside. Dew points are in the 70s. That is at the absolute top of the scale. And although dew points are going to come down a little bit today, they're still going to be in the 60s for most of the day, so that means we are going to have a bit of a heat index value. Even though the thermometer may not reach 100 in San Antonio, it should feel like 101 in the Alamo City. Generally feel like temperatures about 2 to 3 degrees above what the thermometer reads today. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. We'll be warming up pretty quickly here. By about 10, we'll be at 83 degrees, some clouds still around 10, and then we'll see partly cloudy skies around noon. It'll be 88, and then in the afternoon we'll have a 20% chance for an isolated downpour. 98 degrees for the high temperature, just like that band from the 90s. Southeast winds gusting occasionally up to about 20 miles per hour. Satellite and radar, as I mentioned, it is quiet around San Antonio at the moment. That low pressure system that brought us the isolated rain is actually over Mexico right now. It's not really going to impact our weather directly, but because the heat high is so far north, that's why we have the window for a few coastal showers. Speaking of that heat high being so far north, we're not really going to be under the direct influence from that heat high in a major way like we were in July. So when we look at temperatures this week, it is going to be hot, absolutely, even warmer than average. The average high is 97, but we're not going to be challenging records, which is some good news that we could take here. Every day, temperatures should be at or just slightly below 100. And as for rain chances, a stray coastal shower possible tomorrow, and then we're eyeing Thursday for the best chance for rain, and even that is not a great chance, about 20-30%, that's it. All in all, though, not too bad for an August forecast. We could always use some more rain, so keep your fingers and toes crossed if you want an isolated shower this afternoon. Coming up, I've got to look at your poolside forecast as we round out this weekend. Max and Sarah.
Toes crossed. All right.
Toes crossed.
Thank you, Sarah. 6:15, 78 degrees out.
All right, if you're looking to squeeze in some last-minute fun before the kids head back to class, San Antonio Zoo has an incentive. How you can score cheaper tickets, that's still ahead.
And healthy habits can help you stay in shape physically and mentally. That includes reducing your risk for Alzheimer's. We have the tips straight ahead.
Let's take a look at these Lotto numbers. Pick 3, 0, 4, 7, Fireball 7, Daily 4, 7, 7, 4, 0, Fireball 0.
So it seems like the lucky number is 7 this morning. Cash 5, 3, 15, 22, 23, 27. Lotto text is 4, 8, 21, 28, 31, 53. Here we go.
I didn't play.
Okay.
It's only about, what, 50? I think it's about 50 million.
Who needs 50 million?
I know. I need like over 100.
All right, here's the Powerball numbers. 8, 15, 46, 56, 68. Powerball 3. Power Play 2. Good luck. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. Going to law school or becoming a lawyer remains a challenge for women. They make up less than 40% of attorneys, while Latinas make up only 2% of that. So to combat the statistic, St. Mary's hosted the first ever Latina Network Summit, which is an effort for Latinas to support each other through professional development. Many first-generation law students like Annalisa Casanova-Smith says it's a lot to juggle, not just costs and schoolwork, but also self-doubt.
Saying to yourself, like, you're not good enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough, and really breaking down those barriers within your own mind, because you don't want to be the thing that holds yourself back.
Latinas have a network to fall back upon and a network to lean on, and most importantly, a network to help uplift and inspire them to continue going within the profession.
Organizers say the goal is to provide scholarships next year to help women pay for their bar exam fees. It's unclear when the next summit will be, but St. Mary's has already agreed to host the next one.
Well, losing keys and forgetting names doesn't have to be a part of getting older. With many Americans concerned about Alzheimer's and dementia, the CDC is providing guidance on how there are many ways to improve your brain health. With more, here's ABC's M. Wynn.
It's common to see some mental hiccups with age, but research has shown that 40% of Alzheimer's and related dementias could be delayed or even prevented. Here are some helpful tips that you could do to reduce your risk and slow its progression. The CDC recommends remaining active and maintaining a healthy weight. For those with diabetes, be sure to keep track of and manage your blood sugars. Make sure to get that blood pressure under control if it's too high. Talk to a professional. Hearing loss. Find support if you're feeling depressed or blue. And lastly, make sure to limit those alcoholic drinks and avoid smoking. The effects of aging are a natural part of life, but these lifestyle habits may help keep your brain healthy. With this Medical Minute, I'm M. Wynn, ABC News.
Time now just about 6:22, 78 degrees out.
We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. So looking to make the most of the final days of summer before the start of the school year? Well, San Antonio Zoo has you covered.
I love the zoo. So the zoo is offering $10 admission starting tomorrow, but you have to get your tickets online. So to claim the $10 tickets, simply visit the zoo's website. Be sure to use the checkout code SUMMER22.
All right, this special pricing ends August 14th. If you have any questions, we have all the details right now. Just head to KSAT.com. Time now, 6:25, 78 degrees out.
All right, researchers have a new way to explore the ocean floor, and it involves a robot. We'll explain in our next half hour.
Plus, NASA halting spacewalks after water leaked into an astronaut's helmet. Now they're trying to upgrade spacesuits for astronauts. When that could be ready, we're going to explain. Good morning and welcome back and happy Sunday. It is just about 6:30. It is Sunday. I'm pretty sure it's August 7th and it feels all of August. Are you checking the phone?
Yeah, August 7th.
That's fair. So it is August. You've done a great job avoiding the heat. It's fun for you because you're such an outdoorsy person.
You know what I did yesterday?
You did laps around the station to get your steps in?
Yes, I did that,
Okay.
but I had to go to HEB.
Okay.
And so I had my list of 6 things, and I took the long way around.
Why 6 things?
It was like fruits and vegetables.
Okay, but it's not just 6 things every time you go.
No.
Okay.
But so I purposely went down every aisle to get everything, and then I did it like 3 more times for extra steps.
So if you're just joining us, Sarah's been talking about mall walking.
Not that I'm a neurotic person at all.
So to get the steps in, usually she's outside, but because of these triple-digit days,
right,
she's thought about mall walking. Instead, it's now translated to HEB walking.
HEB walking, KSAT station walking. Sarah, do we have any other ideas of where I can walk inside?
The gym?
I do go to the gym, but I hate having to do it.
Hey, you could also do a couple of laps in the pool, Sarah. Yeah, here's your poolside forecast today. We are going to be hot and humid, definitely, but at least we won't have to deal with record heat. It's going to be 98 this afternoon for the high temperature. Winds are going to be from the southeast, gusting at about 20 miles per hour. And you'll notice, yes, there is a 20% chance for an isolated shower this afternoon. Now, because we're going to have a little extra cloud cover, the UV index is not at the top of the scale, but it's still high, very high, and skin damage time could occur within 20 minutes. So make sure to put on that sunscreen, wear those big hats, etc. Temperatures today warm and humid and over the week, but no records. So that's some good news for us. And as far as rain chances go, today isolated rain, and during the week, especially some isolated rain southeast of San Antonio. We got to talk about the tropics. The tropics are starting to buzz right on cue for the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. We'll talk about that. And of course, the chance for isolated showers and storms today in just a few minutes. Max and Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Now to the latest in the situation for the InfoWars host, Alex Jones. So the attorney for the Sandy Hook parents who are suing the InfoWars host, Alex Jones, he expressed his gratitude to the jurors. Now, jurors added those punitive damages on Friday to the total. Now, Jones will owe nearly $50 million to the plaintiffs, 2 parents of a child who was killed at Sandy Hook. Now, Wesley Todd Ball praised the Sandy Hook parent, Scarlett Lewis, in particular for her courage inside the courtroom.
In that courtroom, Scarlett had a focus. and a message and a thing to say that she could have never said to an empty chair. But because he was standing there in that room, that's what happened.
So while the amount Jones has to pay could be reduced in further court action because of the punitive action cap here in Texas, he is facing more lawsuits from other Sandy Hook parents. Jones has claimed in his testimony that it would only take a jury amount of $2 million to destroy him financially. But an economist, an expert witness, testified that Alex Jones' actual net worth is somewhere between $135 and $270 million.
At least 361 children have been killed and more than 700 injured in Ukraine as a result of Russian attacks since the start of that war. That's according to the country's prosecutor's general office. The officials say the numbers could go up as they try to get the latest reports from places of active hostilities. Most children have been killed or injured in the regions of Donetsk and Kharkiv, the office says. It added that more than 2,000 educational institutions in the country were damaged. 230 of them were completely destroyed.
Now to the latest with President Joe Biden. He has tested negative for COVID, according to a letter from a doctor yesterday. So President Biden continues to feel very well, quote unquote, but Dr. Kevin O'Connor writes that the president is set to stay in strict isolation until he has a second consecutive negative test. We believe that negative test has actually just come in. So the president initially tested positive for COVID back on July 21st. He was put on a 5-day course of the antiviral drug Paxlovid, but tested positive again last weekend. The president hasn't left the White House for going on 18 days now, although he has participated in public events virtually. He's even given public remarks twice this week in a restricted COVID protocol arrangement from the White House balcony.
Well, NASA's discovering the final frontier, but it's using decades-old spacesuits to do it, and now their age might be showing. CNN's Kristen Fisher has a story.
What they're coming in?
European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer was wrapping up a 7-hour-long spacewalk outside the International Space Station when he noticed water leaking into his helmet.
I think we should accelerate the steps to get him out of the suit here.
They got him out, but the incident in March of this year was eerily similar to what happened to an Italian astronaut back in 2013.
I feel a lot of water on the back of my head.
Water from the cooling tubes inside Luca Parmitano's spacesuit was leaking into his helmet, and he almost drowned.
For a couple of minutes there, maybe more than a couple of minutes, I experienced what it's like to be a goldfish in the fishbowl from the point of view of the goldfish.
It's a nightmare scenario, according to veteran spacewalker and former NASA astronaut Garrett Reisman, who went on to become the first spacesuit engineer at SpaceX.
And obviously, if you fill the helmet, you can't breathe, and you can't take the helmet off. So you're in a bad place, and it got very serious.
NASA has now stopped all spacewalks at the International Space Station until Matthias's faulty spacesuit is returned to Earth later this month for an inspection. But even if it's fixed, the underlying problem is that these spacesuits, or EMUs, are decades old, and there's not many left.
That big white spacesuit actually has heritage that goes all the way back to Apollo, so pre-1975. The helmet's exactly the same as the helmet that we wore on the Apollo suits.
NASA knows it's a problem.
I think it's critical to have a suit that works for everyone.
NASA's now partnering with 2 commercial companies to develop its next-generation spacesuits, but those likely will not be ready until at least 2025.
That was CNN's Kristen Fisher reporting. Until the suits are fixed, spacewalks will remain halted.
Well, U.S. officials have declared monkeypox a public health emergency. In the aftermath, we know so many families, so many people really have a lot of questions about what that means and how monkeypox is spread, especially the start of school just around the corner for so many districts. Starts this coming week. That is why later this morning on Leading SA at 8 a.m., we have a specialist with UT Health San Antonio joining us live. If you have any questions, which many of you do, feel free to submit them. Email us your questions. You can also head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com. Then join us this morning, 8 a.m., for all the answers from the experts. Time now, 6:36, 78 degrees now.
Go Cowboys, Max.
Oh, my goodness. So the first preseason game is in the books, the Hall of Fame game on Thursday. We didn't see a lot of starters, but at training camp, we are seeing a lot of starters, specifically Dak Prescott, who is showing up and shelling out. A lot of touchdowns in what could be the last padded day of practice during training camp. We're going to catch up with Dak and see what all the Camping with KSAT guys are doing over there.
Really enjoyed not having triple digits yesterday.
Did you enjoy it while you were walking around HEB?
I did. I was hoping it would rain. It didn't. Sarah Spivey will let us know if we're going to have another double-digit day when we come back.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
How about them Cowboys? Cowboys had one last padded practice yesterday before taking off, and it is always fun to watch the work in the trenches where the real battles take place. No offense to any special teams, anything like that, but check out this. Rookie Tyler Smith, Josh Ball, both get lit up. That would have been a sack in live action. On offense, so Dak Prescott doing what he does. 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. His first TD went to Zeke, the second caught by rookie wideout Jalen Tolbert. But the most glaring problem, well, hopefully they're playing better than I can speak, the Cowboys have in camp is their kicking game. No two ways about it. The kickers have been terrible. Former Texas Tech kicker, Jonathan Garibay, 4 of 11. So is this going to be a problem Jerry's worried about?
Oh, not really. I want to see, I know we're challenging them, putting them against the wind out there. I'd like to see them in the calmness of the stadium hitting those 32-yarders, which happens to be the extra point. Let's get that down.
So we wanted to show you the outside. Right there. All right, let's see. Can we zoom in? All right, so outside of Wolf Stadium, there was so many people lined up to see this guy. Fernando Tatis Jr.'s return to the Alamo City. The Padres sensation began a rehab assignment with the Missions to recover from a wrist fracture he suffered prior to the start of the season. So before he took the majors by storm, remember, Tatis played more than 100 games for San Antonio as a member of the Missions from 17 to 18, and returning to Wolf, well, it was a cool experience.
A lot of memories over here, a lot of memories, a lot of tears, a lot of blood, however you want to call it. It's a feel that it was one of those that shaped me really well, and glad I can be back here.
Now, he didn't give a timetable on his return to the majors, but by all accounts, he should be back in the Padres lineup before the end of the month. But not a huge night for Tatis at the plate. Drew a couple of walks, struck out in 3 at-bats as a DH leading off. Now, the Missions did fall to Wichita, wind surge 5-1. So as he gets back in shape, gets that wrist back, we'll see. I expect a few homers outside of the park.
Good luck.
Yeah. Time now, 6:42, 78 degrees out.
All right, Sarah.
Yeah, guys.
I like seeing those double digits for the next couple of days in the forecast.
Oh my gosh, especially after throughout July, our average high temperature was 101.6. It is nice to be able to see the temperatures below 100, although yes, it's going to continue to be hot and humid today. Yesterday we got up to 97 only for the high temperature. Today will be a degree or 2 hotter than that. Here's a look at the 24-hour radar estimated rainfall around San Antonio. You can see that the coastal plains really benefited the most, but even then, only about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rainfall. As we zoom into San Antonio here, let me go back and zoom in there for you. You can see that really the rain was very isolated and very streaky in nature. We did have one shower go right over the airport, so the airport actually did record about 0.05 of an inch of rainfall, but if you got rain, maybe 1/10 of an inch of rainfall here and there. And unfortunately, that kind of rain is just not going to help us out when it comes to the drought. Here's a look at the drought monitor. You know the situation just by looking outside in your backyard. Exceptional and extreme drought all across south central Texas. What we really need is a kick from the tropics, but it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing anything like that anytime soon. Here's the thing. Today, the rain chance is about 20%. Isolated showers and storms possible for us. We're really not going to be seeing any kind of washouts, much like yesterday during the peak heat of the day between about 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. We'll have some isolated showers. You can see that on the futurecast here. This is a snapshot around lunch. A few coastal showers possible, and then right at about 3 p.m. we'll see 1 or 2 pop-up thunder showers, perhaps even a rumble of thunder. Now remember that if you do hear thunder, see lightning, duck inside quickly, wait for that storm to pass, and then head back outside to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Again, this is a snapshot snapshot right around 6-7 p.m. and you can see still 1 or 2 isolated showers, but with the loss of daytime heating, our rain chance will come to an end for the day. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. We'll be warming up quickly here. Mostly cloudy skies early this morning, then a few more peaks of sun by lunch. It'll still be in the 80s at noon, so that's nice if you have Sunday brunch plans. It won't feel too bad to sit outside. Definitely on the warm side, though. And then as far as the high temperature today, probably another double-digit day with a high temperature right around 98 degrees. And again, in the afternoon, 20% chance for an isolated shower or storm. Elsewhere, it'll be 95 in Kerrville, 100 in Uvalde, so we will reach the triple digits west of San Antonio, 101 in Del Rio, 102 in Cotulla. It'll be 97 in Canyon Lake. As we take a closer look around the San Antonio metro area, 99 in New Braunfels. Seguin, you'll be at 98, 99 in Hondo, 99 in Devine, 98 in Rio Medina, mid-90s in the Hill Country. Not so bad in those higher elevations. Now, unfortunately, rain chances do not look great in the week, but we do have a couple of opportunities. Today, again, isolated showers. Anytime you see a 10% chance of rain, that's for a coastal shower or storm. Thursday is the day we're going to be eyeing to hopefully be able to bring up that potential for rainfall, but we have to get better data in closer to Thursday. I mentioned that we really need a kick from the tropics in order to get some good rainfall here in San Antonio. For the first time since July 13th, the National Hurricane Center has flagged an area over Africa. Tropical wave has about a 40% chance of development over the next 5 days in the Atlantic Ocean into at least a tropical depression, probably a tropical storm at this point. But then that'll be out in the Atlantic. All indications are that it will not impact the Texas coast. We'll keep you updated. At the moment, it is currently starting to ramp up in the Atlantic. It is Atlantic hurricane season, and this is the peak. Looking at the forecast over the next several days, again, not too bad. Temperatures each day should be near 100, but also likely below 100 too. So some double-digit days there for you, Sarah. How does that look?
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. 646, 78 degrees out.
All right, this is kind of terrifying. Snake hunters are stalking their targets in the Everglades. Nearly 1,000 people are competing to see who can catch the most pythons. The winner gets a big prize, and that's not the only draw for this event. Details still ahead.
Florida?
Florida.
Taking a live look out at the roadways. That is 410 at Fredericksburg, 1604 at Petranco. Literally no one on that area. Okay, we got some traffic out there. If you are out and about, we know a lot of people headed to church, trying to get those errands done, maybe coming home. Well, be safe, drive smart. We'll be right back.
Well, it took well more than 300 years, but the last woman convicted during the Salem, Massachusetts witch trials has been exonerated. The name of Elizabeth Johnson Jr. is now cleared thanks to an effort of an area teacher in her 8th grade civics class.
So Johnson was accused of witchcraft back in 1692, one of more than 200 other women and men in Salem. Her exoneration came after teacher Carrie LaPierre took note of Johnson's case after reading other accused names had been cleared, but Johnson's had not been.
So for the last few years, LaPierre's 8th graders petitioned state lawmakers and just recently were successful in getting an amendment attached to the state budget.
Okay, well, 300 years, a little too late. Time now, 6:51, and it's been a story that you've been talking about a little bit throughout the morning. A huge, bizarre sinkhole appears out of nowhere.
I know, it's a crazy story, and a famous hippo becomes a big sister.
These and more as we take a look at this with CNN's Jeremy Roth.
Take a look at the week we had. A massive, almost perfectly round sinkhole suddenly appeared in Chile, and it was more than 82 feet across and 650 feet deep. The unexplained phenomenon occurred on land owned by a Canadian mining company. No injuries were reported, and the area is now closed off while geologists try and figure out just what the heck happened. A massive water spout was caught on camera wreaking havoc on the Maryland shore. Eyewitnesses watched as the spout moved off the water and damaged several homes on land. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured by the sudden event, but it did reportedly knock out power to some 50,000 customers in the area. And from on the water to underwater, where Stanford's new Ocean 1K submersible robot is giving researchers a new way to explore the ocean floor. It can travel nearly 3 times as deep as a human scuba diver, but the real headline is its unique touch-based feedback system, which lets the remote pilot actually feel what the robot is touching. When it comes to treasure hunting tech, you gotta hand it to this one. And finally, popular perky pachyderm Fiona the hippo will have to share her viral spotlight from now on because she is now officially a big sister. The Cincinnati Zoo announced Fiona's mother, Bibi, had another baby. There were limited details on the new bulky bundle of joy, but they said the pair will bond privately for a couple of weeks before making their public debut at the zoo. For Take a Look at This Week, I'm Jeremy Roth.
All right, now this is another Take a Look at This. This is the Python Challenge, and it's underway. Of course, it's happening in Florida and the Everglades. It is the state's annual effort to control the number of Burmese pythons that are a major threat to the area's wildlife and ecosystem. So over 10 days, hundreds of snake hunters descend on the Everglades to bag as many pythons as possible. More than 850 hunters are signed up for this year's challenge. Whoever brings back the most pythons wins $2,500.
Does that seem worth it to you?
No.
Okay, so since the year 2000, more than 17,000 pythons have been removed through the challenge and other year-round efforts. $2,500?
Still no. All right, a South Florida area biologist says detection and removal by humans remains the best tool to control the reptile population.
They're huge.
Yes.
Like, that's terrifying.
These people, they do it for fun. It's like, oh, competitive.
Clearly.
Would you do that?
I think you'd have to up the price a little bit.
I wouldn't do it.
$2,500 is not enough.
I wouldn't do it at all.
Time now, 6:54, 78 degrees out.
We'll be right back.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, Democrats on the verge of a major victory for President Biden's agenda. Senators working around the clock this weekend to pass a massive climate, healthcare, and tax bill. This as the president tests negative for COVID again. Also coming up, the nationwide demand for teachers as students prepare to return to classrooms, the concern from parents, and what some teachers are saying about the reason for the shortage. And finally, the controversy surrounding actor James Franco after being cast to play Fidel Castro, what some critics are now saying. It's all ahead here on GMA.
In the news you need to know before you go, the North Side standoff we've been covering for the last 72 hours, it is over after an alleged murder suspect and police have been talking over the last 3 days. So this all happening at the Agora Stone Oak Apartments since Wednesday night. Police have been attempting to get the suspect to come out, and he finally did and came out around 3 this morning. Now, a name police have been calling out at the scene is Sonny Rojas, a man by that name has a murder warrant out in DeWitt County, that's southeast of San Antonio. And as of this morning, there is a man in custody by that name, the Bexar County Magistrate's Office. We should have all this information on air and online throughout the day.
At least 9 people are hurt after a shooting in Cincinnati, Ohio. It happened outside of a bar. Police say a suspect fired multiple shots into a large crowd. Police say right now no one is in critical condition and no one was killed in the shooting. At least at last check, officers have not made any arrests. The total number of injuries still not known at this time, but multiple victims were being treated at University Hospital. A Cincinnati police officer who was on scene at the time of the shooting shot at the suspect, but it is unclear if that individual was hit.
All right, not too bad of a forecast. Could we want some more rain? Absolutely. But here's the thing, isolated showers and storms possible today and sprinkled throughout the week. Temperatures should be at or just below 100, so we will not be dealing with record highs, which is nice to see. Today, 20% chance for an isolated shower or storm in the afternoon. And in the week ahead, another day we're going to be looking at for the potential for rain really is on Thursday as well. So we'll continue to keep you updated. And coming up at 8, we're going to recap all of this and show you the future casts as well. Hopefully we'll have the pollen count in by then too.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. We're going to take an hour-long break for Good Morning America, but like Sarah said, we got a lot more coming up at 8. We have leading SA. We know monkeypox on the top of so many people's minds.
So many questions.
So many questions. Sarah Costa bringing up like 800 questions for the doctor.
I mean, I have a lot of questions.
There's a lot of questions, especially with school starting this week. Obviously, all of our return to class coverage. Any questions you have, you can still submit them. Just head to the Leading SA section of KSAT.com.
We'll see you guys at 8.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
This morning on GMSA, the police standoff that's dragged on for over 3 days is finally over. The latest on how it ended and what's next for the suspect.
And taking a live look out at the Alamo City, 78 degrees now. How hot will it get? We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. But for now, good morning. It is 8 o'clock. It is Sunday. It is August 7th. Yesterday, some lucky people in and around San Antonio saw some rain. Did you get any?
I got the tiniest amount, and it only happened like at 5 in the morning, and then I had some like teaser clouds and nothing.
Teaser clouds?
Yeah, teaser clouds where it's like really dark and you're just like, oh, it's gonna happen. It didn't happen, Sarah, but you said the airport actually got a little bit of rain.
The airport did get a little rain. I think today is going to be another day of teaser clouds for a lot of people. We're going to have some isolated showers and storms. Here's a look at what the radar looked like yesterday. You can see just how isolated in nature those showers were, those downpours were. We got 5/100ths of an inch of rain at the airport, so that brings our grand total to only 6/100ths of an inch of rain since the start of July. That is more than 2.5 inches in a rainfall deficit, and it gets even worse when you compare it to the year. So far for this year, we've only seen 5 17/100ths inches of rainfall at the airport. We should have more than 13 additional inches of rain by this point. It is very dry outside. Today, a lot like yesterday, we'll have a few isolated showers and storms in the afternoon. High temperature of 98, so we should stay below 100 degrees. All in all, though, it is still going to be a hot and humid day. Coming up, I'll show you that futurecast, and we'll talk about what you can expect for the work week ahead. Max, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Now to a story that we've been following for a long time, for too long, more than 70 hours. A days-long standoff is finally over at an apartment complex on the north side. This is the Agora Stone Oak Apartments, and we now know murder suspect Sonny Rojas surrendering to police after hiding out for 76 hours. According to the Bexar County Magistrate's Office, Sonny Rojas now facing charges of first-degree murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and 2 lesser charges, finally surrendering to police around 3 this morning.
Meanwhile, the Archdiocese of San Antonio says a bishop has died at the age of 90. Bishop John W. Yanta passed away at his home after years of battling serious health issues. The Archdiocese says Yanta continued to be a leader and guided work on a number of endeavors close to his heart. Despite his health, we're still awaiting details on the bishop's funeral arrangements.
Well, happening today as many school districts prepare to return to class, a lot of districts starting just next week. Some community members are stepping up and helping families out, making sure that kids in and around our community not only have the school supplies they need, but also have a fresh new haircut.
That's right. Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live from the south side. Good morning, Jonathan. What can people expect out there?
Good morning, Sarah, and good morning, Max. Yeah, they can expect free haircuts, free food, and backpacks stuffed with all the school supplies they'll be needing as they start this new academic school year. And if these kids are anything the way I was growing up, I know that I needed a fresh haircut and also a fresh pair of sneakers to start the school year. But with me is my friend Pac. Talk a little bit more about what's going to be taking place. Pac, we know this event is starting at 11. Tell me, how many barbers are going to be helping out here?
There's going to be 11 barbers today. We're just going to be out here giving the kids free cuts. We're going to be out here giving out free school supplies, free food, just trying to get the kids ready for school.
Now, I know that a lot of, inflation, the prices are expensive, school supplies are expensive, haircuts can get expensive. How important is it that people like you and the other 10 barbers that are going to be helping out here today host events like this for the community?
Oh, it's very important because we know that the community, we live off of the community, so it's our time to give back, especially now in this time of need. The inflation's going up. Yeah, we're just out here trying to help people out. All the kids that their parents can't really afford haircuts for them, that's what we're here for today.
I think that's incredible. Thank you and the rest of the Exclusive Way team that's been putting this together. You're an incredible and talented barber. I have to give him a huge shout out. He does this fade here, so I know these kids are going to be looking fresh and starting the school year just right. Again, this event is happening at 4045, venue 4045, starts at 11 and goes on to 4 o'clock. So bring your kids on out for a free haircut, free food, and also a backpack with school supplies. So back to you in the studio, Max, Sarah.
Down to the coast, thank you so much. Well, U.S. health officials have declared monkeypox a public health emergency. We know so many people, so many families have a lot of questions what that means and how monkeypox actually spreads, especially with the start of school just around the corner for every local school district.
I know there's a lot of questions. That's why joining us in today's Leading SA segment is Dr. Jan Patterson, infectious disease physician at UT Health San Antonio. Good morning, doctor. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
Good morning.
So, doctor, schools in and around San Antonio, they start next week. What should parents know about monkeypox and how concerned should they be?
Well, I think the main thing to realize at this point is that more than 90% of the cases worldwide in this outbreak are occurring in men who have sex with men. So the risk to the general public, including children in public schools, is really very low at this point. Monkeypox is spread by direct skin-to-skin contact, and in particular, intimate, including sexual contact. It can also be spread by having contact with porous materials like bed linens or towels that somebody with monkeypox has used. So, in other words, in a household situation. And it can also be spread possibly by respiratory droplets with prolonged face-to-face contact with a person who has monkeypox.
So, Dr. Patterson, you talked about the surface. Can you get monkeypox from sitting in public transportation, gym equipment, public toilets? And if so, is that likelihood much the same as the prolonged skin-to-skin contact that you've talked about?
No, those situations would be very unlikely. The risk typically occurs in a household situation with porous materials like bed linens or towels or that sort of thing. So hard surfaces would be very unlikely to be a source of spread. And of course, in gyms these days where you're going to have a lot of contact with those hard surfaces, most gyms have disinfectant wipes that you can use. And it's always a good idea to use those before you use the equipment.
Talking about porous materials, for example, a lot of people are going shopping this weekend for back to school, trying on clothes at stores. Is that something that people should worry about?
No, again, that risk would be very unlikely as well, because that's just going to be very transient contact, both for the person trying on and the person before them. So that risk would be very unlikely.
So transient contact versus prolonged skin-to-skin contact. You're saying that is primarily the main way people can get this.
That's right. Just transient contact, just brushing up against a person, that's not going to transmit it. It's really direct skin-to-skin contact, typically intimate or prolonged contact.
Now, we know that there are vaccines around the world, around the country, and even here in Texas and in Bexar County. How important is it that people get these vaccines from your perspective?
Well, it's very important, and the priority group right now is those who have been exposed to monkeypox. Right now, there's not enough vaccine to vaccinate everyone who's at risk, and so the priority group is those who've been exposed. And if you have been exposed, you should contact your health provider or the health department about getting that vaccine.
But in terms of preventative, I know obviously the COVID vaccine comes to mind as a preventative measure. Should mass amounts of people get a monkeypox vaccine in anticipation of trying to prevent it?
Well, right now that would not even be possible because there's not enough vaccine for mass amounts of people in the general public to get the vaccine. We will be expecting more doses of vaccine later in the fall, but right now the doses that are available are primarily for those at risk, and they're prioritizing those who've been exposed. So, I mean, what the general public can do right now to avoid transmission is to avoid close contact with people who have new unexplained rashes. And if they have been exposed, to seek help from their healthcare provider or the health department.
Dr. Patterson, thank you so much for answering all of our questions to our viewers. Watching this full interview will be on KSAT.com later this morning. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Time now, 8:09, 78 degrees out.
Well, still to come, a pro baseball team goes all in on rescuing a dog before it's too late. We'll tell you what happened next.
Plus, could the recently canceled Choco Taco get a second chance?
What?
I
This
know.
is Max's favorite.
I was very distraught when they announced that they were going to be canceling it. What the company who makes it is now saying.
And after the break, a 10-year-old named Peyton is taking her lemonade stand nationwide. The remarkable story on what inspired her to help others.
What was your go-to ice cream, Choco?
Flintstone orange sherbet push-up pop.
Goodness, that doesn't even sound good. Time now,
Good.
8:10,
Come on.
78 degrees out. We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey for your full forecast when we come back. Good morning and welcome back. So this morning, a 10-year-old in Ohio is on a mission.
Peyton Obert is raising money for children facing medical and personal hardships. Her lemonade stand is a yearly fundraiser that's grown into a national nonprofit. Peyton's mom even left her job to help run the organization full time. The idea was born after Peyton received a special gift when she was sick in the hospital.
She received this special bear. She wanted to give back to kids in the hospital who were in the same situation.
Just the feeling when I got Teddy just made me feel so good inside that I wanted to have other kids be able to have that.
So sweet. So years later, that special bear would inspire her to ask her parents for a lemonade stand. Last weekend, they had 50 lemonade stands in 3 different states, raising $85,000. Their goal is to reach $100,000 to give back to others.
All right, so that is an amazing story. Also amazing how the whole sun works in Alaska. After 83 straight days of nonstop sunlight, residents of a town in Alaska finally get to see a sunset. Look at this. This is gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
This town is on the most northern tip of Alaska, closest to the North Pole. The National Weather Service says this sunset officially arrived at 2:01 a.m. local time last Tuesday. It's the area's first sunset since, gets this, May 10th. One person there sharing the photo on Facebook saying it was nice to see the sunset after all
Wait,
summer
so how
being
long
up.
was it set for? Like, how long did they?
Briefly. So it just needs to dip below the horizon and then it rises right after that. They're north of the Arctic Circle.
So it was only dark there for like, what, an hour?
It wasn't totally dark. It was dusk for a while.
And then just, again, another one up again.
Yep.
Wow.
And then in the winter, you know, they're totally dark for days.
I wonder how many people actually live in that town.
I wonder if it's Nome, Alaska, and you can look up the
We're
population.
going to Google while you do your weather forecast.
Sounds good. Looking forward to that. Okay, so 78 degrees outside right now. We do have some sunshine here for us. So the sun is up, and we've got mostly cloudy skies at the moment. Winds are from the south at 10 miles per hour. It feels like 81 because it's so humid. More on the humidity and how that's going to impact feel-like temperatures here in just a bit. But good morning, New Braunfels. It's 78 degrees in your backyard. Hondo, 79, 78 in Pleasanton, 74 in Kerrville, 78 in Del Rio, 72 in Rock Springs, and it's 78 here in San Antonio. Now, the big weather story today is going to be the heat and the humidity, but occasionally there could be an isolated shower or storm this afternoon. 20% chance for isolated showers and storms around the south central Texas region, with the exception of Del Rio, Rock Springs, and Fredericksburg should be dry up there today. Here's a look at that future cast for you. Again, 1 or 2 isolated showers or storms like yesterday, perhaps not even as much as yesterday, but after 3 p.m. we'll have during the peak heating of the day, a couple of those isolated showers and storms bubble up, and then they'll fall apart after sunset. This is a snapshot right at around 5 o'clock. Don't pay too close attention to where this particular model places this isolated shower. It could be anywhere around San Antonio. And we could have a flash of lightning too. We'll keep an eye on that, but no severe weather is expected today. And the big weather story is going to be how simply hot and humid it's going to be. Dew points right now are in the 70s, and they'll come down a little bit today in the 60s, but that's still muggy, and so it'll feel like it's 100 degrees outside, regardless of what the thermometer reads. In fact, feel like temperatures should be about 2 to 3 degrees above what the thermometer reads. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. We're going to be warming up to 88 degrees by noon, still below 90 degrees by lunch hour. And then in the afternoon, we'll have a 20% chance for an isolated shower or storm. High temperature, 98. Here in San Antonio. Yesterday we were only at 97. Today a degree or two hotter than that. All right, on the satellite and radar, it is fairly quiet right now across south central Texas. Yesterday we had this low pressure system right over south central Texas. It's moved on off to the west, but that pesky heat high is too far to the north right now. So what does that mean for our weather in the coming days? It'll still be hot. It's summertime, but we won't have to deal with record challenging heat. Take a look at the afternoon forecasts, temperature forecasts over the next several days. We're either going to be at or just below 100 through Saturday of this upcoming week. Not facing records like we were in July. So that is some good news for us. It is going to be hot. We're not going to get as much rain as we want, but the good news is we won't be at those record high temperatures. Take a look at your 7-day forecast. Isolated rain today. Tomorrow, coastal showers are possible. We'll warm up to 100 by Tuesday. And then we're eyeing Thursday for some isolated showers and storms. We may even be able to bump up that rain chance in the coming days. So continue to check in with the forecast for us. But for now, again, it could be a lot worse. We're in the middle of the hottest part of the year. We could be challenging records, and we're just not going to see record high temperatures. I'll take this forecast over last July's forecast anytime. And coming up, we're going to have a look at your poolside forecast if you're planning on staying cool by the pool this afternoon.
Okay, so we looked up that northernmost city in Alaska that doesn't really see the sun ever set. It is called Utqiagvik. I think I pronounced that right.
Well done.
It's Point Barrow, and they have a population of 4,927 people.
Nice.
Utqiagvik.
Time now is 8:19, 79 degrees out.
Still ahead, it's a busy weekend for the NFL. The league celebrates legendary players going into the Hall of Fame.
And Major League Baseball team rescuing a dog. We're going to tell you what happened and why they stepped in and helped out. That's coming up.
Let's take a look at these lotto numbers. Pick 3, 0, 4, 7, Fireball 7, Daily 4, 7, 7, 4, 0, Fireball 0.
Cash 5, 3, 15, 22, 23, 27. Lotto Texas 4, 8, 21, 28, 31, 53. Here we go. Powerball 8, 15, 46, 56, 68. Powerball 3, Power Play 2. Good luck. We'll be right back. Good morning and welcome back. So this morning in sports, this year's Pro Football Hall of Fame class took its peaceful, rightful place in Canton, Ohio. Such an exciting time of year.
Yeah, and the class included the creator of the famous Lambeau Leap to one of the most beloved head coaches in NFL history.
All right. Winning head coach Dick Vermeil and Packers safety Leroy Butler among the players and other NFL legends honored this weekend. One of the most high-profile year besides, the Super Bowl. Fans and NFL legends came out to honor the newest class of football's immortals. I'm very jealous. I've always wanted to go to Canton. Haven't made it out there yet. Always wanted to go to the ceremony. It was really cool because, we had the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, which kicks off the preseason. And hey, we're back in football.
Max is very about this. All right, over in baseball, the Seattle Mariners have a new team member and an unofficial mascot. Take a look. This is Tucker, 4-year-old lab retriever mix who saved from euthanasia. The team wanted to remind Seattle baseball fans of the huge population of animals who need forever homes. Tucker will probably not be a bat boy or be used to retrieve foul balls, but he's up for snuggling with fans and his new teammates at T-Mobile Park. And of course, Tucker now has an official Twitter account. So that is so cool. He's got the whole park to himself.
But what was the movie back in the day? Air Bud. This is like Air Bud.
Yes. He just lives at the park. Best home ever.
Living the dream. All right, and just like Tucker, Klondike's famous Choco Taco getting a second chance, maybe. The company says an outpouring of support for the frozen treat that has now has them reconsidering their long-term plans. Remember, a few weeks ago, the ice cream maker shook up social media when it announced the Choco Taco would be discontinued. Klondike now says they have a plan to bring it back. It is in the works, but it could take some time. Sarah Spivey bringing in the heat today. What do you got?
I think this whole thing was a marketing plan from them.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Like, remember when Mr. Peanut or whatever, like, passed away, whatever, and then
he jumped off the cliff or fell off the cliff.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
But, like, here's the thing. It's a marketing thing.
Did you see they even made the Senate floor at some point? Like a senator was like, protesting it. I don't know what happened.
I'm glad Choco Taco's back though.
So is Max.
Okay, time now, 8:26, 79 degrees out.
All right, still to come on GMSA at 8:30. We have the latest on an overnight shooting in Cincinnati that injured at least 9 people. What we've learned this morning.
Plus, school starts in less than a month in Uvalde. How a group from Houston now working to help the community heal before their return to class. Good morning and welcome back. Happy Sunday. I'm Max Massey.
I'm Sarah Costa. It's Sunday, August 7th. Thank you so much for watching with us. Yesterday, to avoid the heat, what I've been doing is I've been walking indoors a lot, and I've been doing like big retail stores. And yesterday it was H-E-B, just with my cart. Every
Do you have snacks?
I didn't have any snacks.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that was one way that I have found to avoid the heat, Sarah Spivey.
Oh my goodness. And some people even got some isolated rain yesterday, which was nice for a few backyards. But here in San Antonio today, we're once again going to have about a 20% chance for an isolated shower or storm. Still though, it is Sunday. If you're planning on enjoying some time by the pool, one of the last Sundays for a lot of the kiddos before they have to head back to school. Temperatures are going to be warming up quickly. We'll be at 88 at noon, partly cloudy skies this afternoon with a 20% chance for an isolated shower. Now, here's the thing. We only have a very high UV index today instead of extreme because of the clouds around. So skin damage time within less than 20 minutes. So please make sure to take care of your skin. Here's what we're going to talk about in the forecast. Temperatures this week will be hot and humid, but no record heat. That's nice. 20% chance for isolated rain today, especially southeast of San Antonio. And the tropics are starting to buzz. We'll take a look at the tropics and all this and more coming up in a bit. Max, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Looking ahead, Uvalde children are set to head back to school in less than a month.
So still a lot of anxiety and fear across the community after how last school year ended. So to help the community cope with all of these emotions, a children and adolescent grief center out of Houston, they put on an event at the local Uvalde library. Now there was play therapy for kids, free school supplies, and even a chance for local kids to meet superheroes. All of it meant to bring moments of joy and to help the community as they move forward to a new return to class.
Having this kind of a fun activity, but still supporting emotional distress, the sadness, and the heartache and pain that they've experienced will be a good way to kind of be that catalyst to get ready to go back to school.
So 40 miles east in Hondo, a barbecue plate sale that was held at the golf course for survivors of the Robb Elementary School shooting. Well, we're told they've raised more than $9,000 yesterday alone.
And just a reminder, there are counseling services available at the Uvalde Together Resiliency Center that's located at the County Fairplex. They're open Tuesday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, as we get closer to the new school year, the principal of Robb Elementary now holds a new position within the school district. Mandy Gutierrez will now be the Assistant Director of Special Education. The district says the reassignment fulfills her, quote, desire to support special education students across the district, end quote. Gutierrez's old position will be filled by Christy Perez. Now, Perez previously worked as the assistant principal of Uvalde High School.
To our top story this morning, a marathon police standoff is over on the city's north side at the Agora Stone Oaks apartments. Murder suspect Sonny Rojas has surrendered to SAPD after hiding out for 76 hours. He's charged with first-degree murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and 2 lesser charges. He finally surrendered around 3:09 this morning.
So our ABC affiliate WCPO News in Cincinnati, Ohio, now reporting at least 9 people injured after a shooting at a bar on Main Street. So this happened in Cincinnati around 1:45 this morning. Cincinnati Assistant Chief of Police Michael John says multiple shots were fired within a large crowd on Main Street. 9 people injured. No serious injuries reported yet. And also no suspects in custody at this time. But Cincinnati police says one shooter did run away after the gunshots.
A Houston woman is facing charges after a fiery crash at a Los Angeles intersection that killed 6 people, including a pregnant woman. So KPRC in Houston reports that 37-year-old Nicole Litton is charged with manslaughter and gross negligence. She was driving her Mercedes-Benz when she allegedly blew through a red light at a busy intersection, causing a chain reaction crash involving multiple cars. Family members say Litton was a traveling nurse working in L.A. An election year economic bill is now making its way through the Senate.
So it's set to address President Joe Biden's priorities on climate, energy, health, and taxes.
ABC's Christine Sloan has the latest.
The Senate working around the clock this weekend on what's being called the Inflation Reduction Act. The bill makes the single biggest investment in clean energy in the nation's history, allows Medicare to negotiate some prescription drug prices, sets a $2,000 annual cap on out-of-pocket drug costs for seniors, and locks in a minimum corporate tax rate of 15%. Support for the bill is split along party lines, with Democrats in support and Republicans in opposition.
It is absolutely imperative that we show the American people that we are capable of representing the needs of ordinary people.
We're about to pile misery on top of misery. We're about to increase gas taxes at a time you can't afford it.
The Senate voted to begin debate Saturday evening after Vice President Kamala Harris cast a tie-breaking vote in favor.
The Vice President votes in the affirmative and the motion to proceed is agreed to.
After 4 hours of debate, the Senate began a process known as vote-a-rama, voting on dozens of proposed amendments to the bill before a final vote.
Please support this amendment.
I would urge my colleagues to vote no on the amendment.
Using a special budget process, Democrats need just 51 votes or a simple majority for it to pass. No Republicans have said they'll support it. With midterms just 3 months away, Democrats are hoping to get this to President Biden's desk quickly. But the measure would also have to pass the House. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
Well, back here at home, happening today as many school districts prepare to return to class, some community members have decided to help families make sure their kids not only have school supplies, but also have a fresh new haircut.
A new haircut's very important, makes you feel pretty confident. Our Jonathan Cotto joins us live from the South Side. Good morning, Jonathan. So what can people expect?
Good morning, Sarah. Well, folks can expect to walk out of here at venue 4045 on 4045 Commercial here on the city South Side with a fresh haircut. And this isn't just exclusive to boys. Girls can come in and also get their hair braided. But to talk to more about what's going to be taking place here is organizer Amanda Mendoza, aka Doza. Amanda, thank you so much for being here with us. Talk to me a little bit about the planning and the effort that's gone into making today's event a possibility.
So it all started, I just wanted to get back to my community. I immediately posted a Facebook post and I was like, we're going to have a back to school event. If anybody wants to sponsor, give us a call or, let me know. And immediately everybody started donating from backpacks, school supplies, waters, backpacks, everything. And we were able to make this event possible. So me and my family came together and we found this event. Not only in the event is there going to be haircuts and braids, but there's going to be a photo booth. There's going to be pizza, waters, wall supplies last, of course, but there's also going to be moon bounces for the kids, arcades, and games so the kids can be entertained while waiting for their haircut.
That is super cool. So, parents can bring their kids in here, they can eat, they can play, get a haircut, and get a backpack filled with school supplies. I think this is an incredible, incredible event. Talk to me about why the importance of having it here on the South Side. I know you've hosted other events, but the idea came to you about having it here in your own community, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I wanted to have it specifically in the South Side because this is where I grew up. This is where I came from. So, my parents always, I was fortunate to always have it all growing up. And, seeing my friends and other people just want to volunteer and help me out, I just decided to put this event together in the South Side. So this is why we chose this location itself. And I think this is a great idea for us to have.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for letting us be a part of this, and to everyone that's helped organize this the exclusive way, all the barbers that are volunteering their talent, their skills to get these kids a fresh haircut as they head back to school. Folks, this is happening today from 11 to 4 p.m. on 4045 Commercial here on the city's south side. Back to you in the studio, Max, Sarah.
Thank you, Jonathan. And reminder, South San ISD starting school tomorrow. So also looking ahead, the Spurs are giving away school supplies at the AT&T Center later today from noon to 4 p.m. You can read all about this giveaway right now on KSAT.com.
And a big reminder, this morning marks the last day of tax-free weekend in Texas, but shoppers can still save money throughout the day on clothes and school supplies. For every $100 spent, shoppers save about $8. Now, clothes, shoes, backpacks, and school supplies under $100 will not be taxed. There are exceptions: jewelry, handbags, umbrellas, wallets. Any questions you have, we have all of this info right now. Just head to KSAT.com.
Looking ahead, tomorrow marks the start of a new school year for some students.
So South San ISD, like you said, Jourdanton ISD, Edgewood ISD, all beginning class tomorrow morning.
Other school districts in our area also begin throughout the next week and the following week. So we're going to have team coverage and everything you need to know as students return to class tomorrow on GMSA, including tomorrow at 9. Tiffany Huertas is going to be live and tell us about one local school district that is helping refugee students with resources and support. She'll explain that big impact that it's having on students.
And of course, as you can see on your screen on the news at noon, the superintendent of SAISD joining us live for a Q&A. We're going to be talking about a variety of topics that parents have questions about, ranging from dress codes, school lunches, and of course, the upcoming school year. So make sure you tune in on the news at noon at 12:30 tomorrow.
All right, go ahead and take your phone out right now and open up the camera app like Max is doing. You can find all our resources on our website. Just scan this QR code with your phone. It'll take you to our return to class section where you can find a lot of helpful articles, including some questions parents had for school officials. You asked and we have those answers. It's all on KSAT.com.
Time now, 8:41, 79 degrees out.
Well, still to come, the San Antonio Zoo is offering a new deal before school starts. How you can score cheaper tickets. That's next.
And taking a quick live look out at the Alamo City, 79 now. How hot will it get? We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey with your full forecast.
Good morning. Going to law school or becoming a lawyer remains a challenge for women. They make up less than 40% of attorneys, while Latinas only make up 2% of that. So to combat that statistic, St. Mary's hosted their first ever Latina Network Summit, which is an effort for Latinas to support each other through other professional development. Many first-generation law students like Annalisa Casanova Smith says it's a lot to juggle, not just costs and schoolwork, but also self-doubt.
Saying to yourself, like, you're not good enough, or maybe I'm not smart enough, and really breaking down those barriers within your own mind because you don't want to be the thing that holds yourself back.
Latinas have a network to fall back upon and a network to lean on, and most importantly, a network to help uplift and inspire them to continue going within the profession.
Organizers say the goal is to provide scholarships next year to help women pay for their bar exam fees. It's unclear when the next summit will be, but St. Mary's has already agreed to host the next one.
All right, looking ahead, if you're trying to make the most of the last days of summer before the start of the school year, the San Antonio Zoo has you covered. They're offering $10 admission starting tomorrow, but you have to get your tickets online to claim the tickets. Just visit the zoo's website. Be sure to use the checkout code SUMMER22. The special pricing ends August 14th. If you have any questions, we have all of those details right now. Just head to KSAT.com.
Sarah, if people want to head out to the zoo this morning or later today, what can they expect?
Well, they can expect that it's going to be hot and humid. But there is an off chance for an isolated shower. By the way, I had a question from a viewer as to what I had in my hand. It's not a speaker, it's a coffee mug, but it kind of looks like a speaker. I'll show you again. It's actually green, so, oh no, it's not keying out. That's good. Yeah, it's a coffee mug. It's pretty great. All right, in the pollen count today, we only got mold. Molds are low. They're only at 220. And by the way, Saharan dust has dissipated as well, at least temporarily. So with a lack of rainfall, widespread rainfall, We have low molds in the pollen count. Now, we did have some rain yesterday. This is a look at the 24-hour radar estimated rainfall totals, and you can see just how streaky in nature the isolated showers and even a rumble of thunder or two was out there. At the airport, we officially clocked in 5/100ths of an inch of rain. That's it. But if you live out near Fair Oaks Ranch, you may have gotten about half an inch of rainfall out there on the northwest side. But unfortunately, the isolated nature of these showers and storms is not going to help us out as far as the drought is concerned. I mean, we are in the thick of exceptional and extreme drought. Worst drought we've had across south central Texas since 2011. So the worst drought in a little bit more than 10 years. And it's not just around the San Antonio metro area, of course, across the Winter Garden region as well. By the way, our farmers and ranchers are really struggling. Meteorologist Justin Horn did a wonderful piece about how the drought is impacting farmers across that Winter Garden region. You can find that on KSAT.com. I encourage you to read it. Of course, we continue to hope for good rainfall, but today the only chance for rain that we have is a few isolated showers and storms, a lot like yesterday. About a 20% chance for isolated rain, especially along and east of I-35, closer to the coast. And I'll show you here on the Futurecast what I mean. Again, it's not going to be widespread rain by any means. The one thing to hope for is a passing quick downpour, perhaps a rumble of thunder. If you do hear thunder, duck inside really quickly because lightning can strike far away from even an isolated thunderstorm. So keep that in mind. Between about 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., that's when we could see some isolated rain. That's during the peak heat of the day. After sunset, we're going to see our rain chances really diminish. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast for you. We'll be at 88 by noon, and then in the afternoon, low 90s. A few isolated showers and storms possible, 20% chance. Winds will be from the southeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and a high temperature of 98 degrees. So we may stay just below 100 today. If there's any good news in our forecast over the next few days, it's that temperatures won't be too hot. It's still going to be close to 100 just about every day, but we will be able to not see records, which is nice. Here's a look at the forecast highs in your neighborhood. It will be 100 in Uvalde and 101 in Del Rio, 102 Laredo, but up in the hill country, mid-90s, and then around the San Antonio metro area, 98 at the airport, 98 in Seguin. New Braunfels, you'll be at 99, 98 in Floresville. It'll be 99 in Castroville and 94 in Bernie and Bulverde. Rain chances over the coming days, again, few and far between. Isolated today, few coastal showers Monday and Wednesday, and then we're looking at Thursday for a potential for isolated rain too. As we get closer to Thursday, we may be able to bump up that rain chance, but we really need some good, rich tropical moisture. We just don't see anything in our future anytime soon. Now, there is an area of disturbed weather out on the coast of Africa that has about a 40% chance of development in the next 5 days, but all indications are that this will not impact the Texas coast. We'll keep you updated. It's the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, and as I mentioned, highs not going to be out of control. We're still going to see temperatures at or just below 100 over the next 7 days. Max and Sarah.
All right, Sarah Spivey, thank you so much. Just about 8:51, 79 degrees out.
Tomorrow on GMSA, 3 school districts all start classes. You can find all our resources for you on KSAT.com. Just take out your phone right now, scan this QR code that you see on the screen. It'll take you to our Return to Class section on our website, where you can find a lot of helpful articles, including some questions parents had for school officials.
Here's a look at current temperatures as you're stepping outside. In New Braunfels, it's 80 degrees. Castroville, you're at 81. 73 in Bernie. I like that temperature up near Bernie. 76 in Comfort, and in Kerrville, 78 at Stinson, but today's going to warm up quickly. We'll be in the upper 80s by noon. 98 for the high temperature. An isolated shower or storm is possible. Only 20% rain chance in the pollen count today. We've got molds. Molds are present in low amounts at 220. And then looking at the forecast over the next 7 days, it could be worse. We could be looking at record temperatures. Instead, we'll have a chance for isolated rain here and there, especially Thursday, and temperatures will be at or below 100 for the highs. So not too bad there with those high temperatures, but again, it's still going to be hot and humid across the board, and we could really deal with some good rain, but there's no big rainmakers in the forecast over the coming days.
All right, Sarah Spivey, thank you so much. So obviously we have full team coverage of Return to Class starting tomorrow morning. Sarah Coast, you're going to be out and about. What are you doing?
I'll be live at South San High School tomorrow. South San ISD, Edgewood, 2 of the big districts, and Jourdanton are all starting, and I'll be live out there talking to parents and administrators about what to expect for the school year.
Right, we've talked about everything from school security, enrollment, subjects, after school activities, STEAM, so you're not going to want to miss it. We're starting tomorrow morning, dark and early, 4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m.
We'll see you back here at GMSA tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your Sunday.
Have a great Sunday.